Hey everyone, Spencer here. I'm a pitch pilot. I'm actually a pretty famous pitch pilot. I get asked a lot how you pre-flight a pitch special, so I thought I'd do a quick video and show you how to do the walk around and pre-flight the airplane. So let's come right over here to the airplane, and I like to start up here at the nose, and we'll check the oil first. Open that up. You unscrew this thing. That's the oil dipstick. See how it's yellow? They paint it yellow so it's easy to find. And you pull this out and you look for some oil. There needs to be, at least 9, no more than 12. If you put more than 10 in, it blows it out when you're inverted, so don't do that. And that's Aeroshell 100 Plus. You can tell by the way it tastes. I just put some in the other day and it tasted just fine to me. So we'll come back to that in a little bit. All right, now we're at the part where we open up the cowling and check the engine. So you just unscrew these screws with a tool. I happen to have this nifty screwdriver thing on my fuel checker. It's pretty cool. Okay, and then pull this open. So we get to the engine, and you can see those valve covers are real shiny. That means it's high performance. There's a lot of cables and wires. I see some blue cables. There's some silver cables, some silver tubes with blue nuts. And hey, there's some yellow wire. There's a big fat black hose over there. Man, there's all kinds of colors. Oh, and the engine's red. That's just great. Then we look on top and you see those cylinders, some blue stripes painted on the top there. And that just, again, that means it's high performance. So after we get done looking in here, we'll close this up and we'll keep working our way around the airplane. Then we check these wires. Okay, this you got to put away. Don't put this in your pocket, because this could, you could poke that in the fabric and that could make a hole, and it'll cost you a lot to repair. So anyway, you check these wires and you squeeze them and you go boing like a guitar, like doing like a guitar string. Listen to that nice tune it plays. This thing here, this is called the Javelin. It's made from an old broomstick, and it's just wood. And what that's for is if a bird is coming this way, it kills it and cuts it and stabs it, and then the wires slice it in half as it goes past the airplane. So don't forget, we got to take the pitot tube cover off, and as you can see, my pitot tube is really, really long. And then we come and look along the leading edge of the wing here, and it should look it should kind of round and shiny, and you run your hand on it and make sure there's, ew, I think I touched a bug. Ugh. I got to clean this thing better after I fly it. Then we get way back here. We kind of look at the whole airplane, and it's got 2 wings. That's why it's a biplane. And sometimes I shake it like this, and I'm listening for loose things rattling in there. And then you want to come down here and you want to tap it, and if anything taps back, call an exterminator. That means there's something in there. Could be termites, I don't know. But these wings that's fabric. It's tight like a drum. You got like your guitar wires here. Boing, 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 boing. You got your drum. These are the wing flapper ailerons. That's what they are. And they go up and down, and they make the airplane turn. And there's this big rod here. It connects the bottom ones to the top, this connecting rod here, and it moves just like that. And then you got this thing. It's a bunch of wires, and they're at angles like geometry, but I wasn't very good at geometry. I think if you look this way, it protects the pilot's head. Like if a bird comes in and is flying towards the pilot's head, this will stop it before it gets there. And that's what that does. And then you get over here to the cockpit, and we've had some people throw up in the airplane, fighter pilots, when they shoot someone down, they put these kill stickers. So these are all the people who vomited in the airplane. I guess there's been quite a few. And the canopy, I've got it slid back and unlatched, so you just open it gently. It's really a piece of shit, and they should do a better job designing it. So you gotta be really careful with it, because it'll break, and it's like $8,000 for this piece of plastic. Anyway, we look down in the front cockpit, and we have to check all that. The gauges and dials are here. By the way, the passenger sits in the front, the pilot sits in the back, and the reason is there's no radios in the front seat. So if you sit in the front seat, you can't adjust the radios and talk to anybody. It's really important. By the way, this is a fuel tank. There better not be any leaks on that thing, and it's really important to let me get this stick out of the way. It's just really important to check the this is, well, we call it a smoke oil tank. That's the official word. Make sure that cap is tight, because you don't want that smoke oil fluid getting in the cockpit, because it's it's just dirty. And if I'm gonna fly by myself, then all the straps are buckled up. I don't want those things, flailing everywhere and stuff. Then we look in the back cockpit, and you see you've got all these cushions, and there's this strap, and there's a harness back here also. Oh, hang on, we're in an airport. There's an airplane flying. He's kind of noisy. Going back to the cockpit here. So this is the control stick, and usually there's a big nut connecting the stick to the seat, but it's not there right now. And there's all these radios and electronic stuff. So there's like a radio and other things. And there's like a gauge for everything. If you look around, it'll tell you stuff about the engine and how fast you're going. By the way, the Pitts, really cool airplane. They can go Mach 0.27. That's how fast they are. That's see where that red line is right there? That's how fast it goes at the most, and that's Mach 0.27. And there's a little pouch here, and you got to make sure that it's zipped up. There's like papers, and keep your wallet and some money and a cell phone, for taking selfies in flight. You got to make sure that's zipped up, because if you go upside down, all that stuff is going to fall out. So let's continue on here. I'm going to close that canopy because I don't want it to break. It's really expensive. And you can look along the airplane, and you can see how shiny it is. It's just really pretty. I like it. It's like a hot rod, And oh yeah, people ask about that window. See my foot down there? That's in case the engine quits. You can look straight down and see exactly where the airplane's going to crash. That's what that's for. And you get back here, and of course I set a world record in the airplane, and that's the big sticker that says it, in case anyone doesn't know. And so this is aluminum, and back here there's fabric. That same fabric is on the wing. It's like a drum. It has a different tone. It's almost like this might be a snare drum, and that's another drum. And there's stickers. These are my N numbers, registration number, like a license plate on your car, in case you don't know. And they have to be a certain size, and like everything else, they're big. They're like a foot tall. That's the requirement, but they're skinny, and the FAA hasn't noticed yet. And then you look towards the tail, and it's really important that this cable, this is from the rudder pedal to the rudder, and then there's this rod and more wires. That's like a guitar, maybe a bass guitar. It has a different tone. Fabric. These things are covered in fabric. These are the rear horizontal flappers. And then this is the vertical flapper. These are, when you do aerobatic maneuvers, you move these different ways, and you can make the plane do like either loop-de-loops or flippity-doos. In fact, if you're flying along and you pull this up like this, the plane will make a loop-de-loop. And if you go vertical, it means you go straight up, and then you suddenly kick this one way or the other, it'll do a flip-de-doo right in the, it'll like go up and flip-de-doo over this way. It's kind of cool. There's our tail wheel. These are real easy to fly. Anything with a tail wheel like this is real easy. Those other like Cessnas and things, that nose wheel in the front has a lot of mechanism, makes it real hard. And notice there's windows here. And the reason you have that window is so you can see that bolt right there. That bolt, it's right in there. It connects that rod to this thing. That's the Jesus bolt, and because you're going to be saying a lot of like, oh Jesus, if it falls out. Let's keep moving around. This black gets hot in the sun. Again, another world record inverted flat spin world record sticker. It's like, again, in case anyone comes up to the airplane on the right side and doesn't know that I have that world record, they see that. So we're gonna keep coming around the airplane here. We check the wing, again, good, yeah. Yeah, good tone. And another one of these bird protection devices for the pilot. Got one on both sides because you don't know which way the bird's going to come in. And same thing here. You run your hand on it, and I don't want to tell, there's bugs on there. You can look at the top of the wing, and I'll put the camera way up there. You can see it's all pretty and red, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's get over here. How do you check the fuel? Well, you unscrew this fuel cap. Get that out of the way, and you stick your finger in there, and, like, you know, don't use that finger. No, I'm not giving you the finger. Just don't use that finger. You could use this finger. I like to use my pinky because it's the shortest one, and that means if my pinky can get wet, which it, oh man, my pinky, a little more. Let's try this one. Yeah, there we go. See, that's a little wet. So there's enough gas in here. It's almost full. I don't know what the difference is between, like, this finger and that finger. I mean, it might be like a cup of coffee. And then we can open up this side of the engine cowling with our tool. It's kind of hard to do with one hand when I'm holding the camera, but, you know, I should be used to holding the camera by now. I do enough videos of myself. And then once this side's open up, so this is the magic right here. This is part of the thing that lets the airplane fly inverted. It's a inverted oil system thing that connects with more of these black hoses and blue fittings. And there's also, it's a 6-cylinder engine, so there's also 3 of those high performance valve covers on this side. And you can see there's an exhaust system, and there's like yellow and silver and black and some blue fit. I mean, there's those blue wires again. They're on the top. I don't know why they're on the top on this side and they are on the bottom on the other side, but that's okay. And then you get up here, and there's the alternator belt. So you got to reach your, check that. If it's not there, then the alternator won't work, and the battery won't charge, and you can't run your iPad. And then we have this prop. This is an MT propeller. They're made in Germany. They were first designed in World War II, and the first plane they actually flew on was the German Messerschmitt Me-262 fighter. So that's how old this prop design. It's a really good prop. It's very lightweight, turns fast on the engine, and the spinner. The spinner's here, and ew, there's like, I'm not gonna touch that. There's like a lot of bugs on there. And anyway, that's how you pre-flight the pits, and then I just kind of stand back and go, wow, this airplane is just really cool. Okay, so anyway, again, this is Spencer. I'm a famous pits pilot, and that's how you pre-flight a pit special.